Greetings to you all and welcome to another episode of Damole News. Hope you guys are doing fine and thank you so much for stopping by. So, Pyrates Confraternity wants Tinubu's government to stop mindless borrowing, which is now at 134 trillion naira. And also on this news, some senators knocked Tinubu's government over borrowing despite exceeding revenue projections. Alright, I'm going to be giving you guys the full details of this news, but please help us by liking and sharing this video so that YouTube and Facebook can recommend it to more people. Thank you. So, the National Association of Sea Dogs, which is the Pyrates Confraternity, has raised concern over Nigeria's escalating debt profile, warning that continuous borrowing threatens the country's economic stability. In a statement on Monday signed by Dr. Joseph Oteri and Chief Bat Akilemo, the association described President Bola Tinubu's 2.2 billion external borrowing request for the 2024 budget deficit as alarming. So, as of June 2024, the DMO reported that Nigeria's total public debt had hit 134 trillion naira, putting the country at a debt per capita of 690,501 naira for 216 million Nigerians, the statement read. So, the group criticized the government for relying heavily on crude oil exports as its main revenue source while neglecting structural reforms. So, according to the association, they said, in 3 months, Nigeria's debt profile rose by 12.6 trillion naira. This steep rise is partly due to recurrent budget deficits, borrowing to fund infrastructure and over-reliance on external loans, the association noted. However, President Tinubu recently claimed that Nigeria's debt service to revenue ratio had improved, decreasing from 97% to 65% since May 2023. But NAS warned that debt servicing costs, exchange rate pressures and reduced budgetary autonomy could cripple the nation's fiscal sustainability. So the association accused the government of mismanaging financial resources, stating it is disheartening to learn that these debts are incurred in feed recurrent expenditure and the lavish lifestyle of politicians. The association also criticized President Tinubu for abandoning promises to cut governance costs. This evokes the unfortunate picture of politicians feeding fat on the misfortune of citizens, the statement added. NANS urged the government to halt further borrowing and focus on reducing expenditures. We reject the federal government's inability to cut down the cost of governance drastically, they said. So they continued by saying, we ask the people's representatives to lead by example by taking pay cuts, minimizing travels, and driving the cost of governance downward. To ensure further generations are not burdened by unsustainable debt, the group called for reforms to boost citizens' productivity. Efforts should be targeted at how the average Nigerian can be more productive, not how the government can lodge in largesse, the association concluded. Alright, so moving forward, the Nigerian Senate has expressed concerns over the decision of Bola Tinubu-led federal government to seek loans to fund the nation's budget despite exceeding revenue projections. The development comes after revenue-generating agencies, including the Nigeria Customs Service, Nigeria National Petroleum Company Limited, and the Federal Inland Revenue Service, reportedly surpassing their 2024 revenue targets. So, according to reports, the Nigeria Customs Service generated 5.352 trillion naira, exceeding its 5.09 trillion naira target for 2024. The NNPCL also reported daily oil production of 1.8 million barrels, nearing the 2.06 million barrels per day projected for 2024, while the FIRS exceeded its 2024 revenue target of 19.4 trillion naira by 50%, collecting 5.7 trillion naira from company income tax alone. Despite these impressive revenue performances, the government has secured a 2.2 billion naira loan to partially fund development projects in the 2024 budget. The move has raised eyebrows among senators who question the need for borrowing when internally generated revenue appears sufficient to meet the country needs. The lawmakers made their concern known during a session jointly chaired by the chairman of the Senate Committee on Finance, Senator Sani Musa, and the chairman of House of Representatives Committee on Finance, Honorable James Falake. Why is the government borrowing when we have so much money? Senator Adamu Aliyu asked. He also added by saying, from what has been presented to us, all the revenue agencies either meet or exceeded their revenue targets over 51 trillion naira has been collected so far, while we budgeted about 35 trillion naira for 2024. What are we doing with the excess revenue? Recently, we approved another loan of 2.2 billion. Falake also inquired, he said, if the IGRO target has been surpassed, do we still go ahead and borrow simply because it was budgeted? While Senator Musa also said, how will borrowing help our economy grow? So, adding to the discourse, Senate Chief Whip Senator Mohammed Mugunu expressed dissatisfaction with the 30% performance of the 2024 budget. According to the lawmaker, that did not justify the revenues and loans secured by the government. According to him, he said, budget performance is abysmally 30% as of November, and we are already on the verge of receiving the 2025 budget, he said with frustration. The Minister of Finance and Coordinating Minister of the Economy, Mr. Wale Edu, defended the government decision to borrow, stating that borrowing, when invested for the right purpose, stimulates growth and production. Despite the stellar performances of revenue agencies, the revenue is still below the 2024 budget projections because a deficit was already anticipated. We still need to improve revenue collection and borrow to invest in the economy to continue stimulating growth and production, the minister insisted. So, the chairman of the Federal Inland Revenue Service, Mr. Zach Adedeji, added the meeting revenue targets did not eliminate the need for borrowing. According to him, he said, the National Assembly approved in the 2024 budget that we should borrow. The budget includes both borrowing and IGRO. Borrowing is not a crime. Meeting revenue targets and borrowing are not conflicting, he stated. Meanwhile, the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission (EFCC) and the Revenue Mobilization Allocation and Fiscal Commission sided with the lawmakers, arguing that Nigeria could not fund its budget without loans. ROMAFC chairman Dr. MB Shehu said the NNPCL ceased full payment of petrol subsidies in October but had yet to reconcile remittance to the federal account. If we become more serious, Nigeria would not need to borrow a dime at this moment, he added. So for his take, EFCC Secretary Mr. Mohammed Ahmad Judah announced that the commission successfully recovered 197 billion naira this year. However, he clarified that most of the recoveries were returned to their rightful owners, including state governments. Judah stressed that if revenue agencies were more diligent in their collections, Nigeria's reliance on borrowing would be significantly reduced. He specifically pointed out that international oil companies hold substantial revenues and urged the Nigerian National Petroleum Company Limited to take a strong stance in addressing these issues. Alright my people, that is it for you all. I saw this news and I decided to share it with you guys, so please let me know your opinion in the comment section, and please help us by liking and sharing this video so that YouTube and Facebook can recommend it to more people. Thank you so much for your time and God bless you. Amen.